Well, I am back with yet another gaming video, but this one is a little bit different. So last week I got invited to a Liza P Overture gameplay party release. So what does that mean? What does that look like? It means that a selected few were invited to enter the world of Krat once again to experience and actually play firsthand the DLC before it's actually released. It was a really cool event. They had like food set up, they had live performances, and they even had a Q&A set. So after all that, we were able to actually test the game for a couple of hours. And let me tell you, it's relentless. It is difficult. It's brutal. But don't be afraid. If you are not a Souls-like gamer or you've never even played Liza P, but you're interested in it, don't let it scare you away because they're actually introducing new difficulty levels.
Wow.
The two new options are Butterfly's Guidance and Awakened Project, and the game's default difficulty level is now called Legendary Stalker. So like I said, I just kept getting decimated over and over. And since I'm not your typical like game tester when it comes to beta testing, I went into this just sort of playing it as I normally would play any game. And that starts with just like exploring every nook and cranny and looting a lot. So in the DLC, you find yourself in Krat Zoo, where you find mutated animals as enemies. Of course, that's on theme with you as a player being at the zoo. You have mutated gorillas, kangaroos, elephants, and like I said, I just kept getting destroyed by these enemies to the point where it was disgusting looking design, but beautifully done, but also comical because I was laughing when I would just get knocked over and kicked in the face by a kangaroo. Okay, so another new update to this game patch and the DLC itself, and that is that there will be 2 challenging boss battle modes unlocked. And these boss modes will be accessible once you've finished the main game story. So we have battle memories, and battle memories let you just replay bosses that you've already defeated, and you can progress through this in 5 tiers. So there's also a mode called Death March, which is where you can challenge a consecutive series of previously defeated bosses with limited player and health items. Like I said, whether you're a seasoned Souls-like player or you're a noob, the DLC I think is really going to have something to offer for everybody. Okay, so another really cool thing that we got to do at this event was a Q&A with G1, who is the director of Liza P. So one of the questions was, if you could speak to your past self at the start of development, what would you say about the journey ahead? And I really love his answer on this one because I think this holds true for any creative person, for any creative process, but I think it can also be applied to really any field where you're working with a team. So he said that he thinks it's important to keep people who share their wisdom with him close to him and maintain those relationships and keep that engagement close to you. So I think that's such a beautiful statement, and I really agree with that one. Okay, next question was, Liza P seems like a shift from previous round 8 games. What was it like pitching Liza P? And he said that they really liked the concept, but the question was, could we really put this together? And I was confident we could. And that's cool. And G1 is a gamer himself, so you really see that he not only has like the creative mind and capability to create this game and direct this story, but he also knows what the expectations are like as a gamer and being so involved in the gaming community. He also noted that he personally really wants to see something more dynamic and different, where it's not just focused on the traditional formula of Souls-like games, but expanding in the area as long as it's fun and entertaining. I mean, I, for one, really appreciate the artistry in this game so far from what we've seen, as well as the storytelling and the music. And those components are incredibly important, I think, to a successful game. So the next question that was asked is really sad. I'm going to warn you. Somebody asked how Bomb or Spring, who is the cat in Liza P, is doing. And man, I shed a tear when he replied. He said he didn't know how to deliver the news, but that Bomb passed away last year. And then he asked to take a break. on the video. I know some of you might have heard that already, but that was news to me, and it's super sad because I know how many of us love that freaking cat, and it just made us smile every time we were in game. But now Bomb Bomb will live on eternally in this wonderful piece of art. So, rip Bomb Bomb. So during this gameplay event, it was kind of funny because we were in this room where there were 2 long tables, and you're sitting with players at either side of you, and then players across from you as well. And it was so unusually quiet for a room of gamers, and I could feel people silently raging. And I know at a few points when I kept dying over and over, I for sure laughed out loud because I couldn't contain myself anymore. So at a certain point, because this was a timed event, I felt like maybe I shouldn't play the game the way I normally would play through, and maybe I should just try to push forward a little bit, even if I wasn't able to defeat that first freaking ape. You know, so I want to reach that next Stargazer. I wanted to see a boss. I wanted to get through and see more content because I know it's going to be a while until the game is actually released. And that was actually funny how, you know, my mind said to me like, well, now let's just push through, because it just felt, like something I wouldn't normally do, but it was still fun to do anyways. And maybe I should do that as a challenge at some point in the future. Some of these enemies, even just casual enemies throughout the world, would just like 2-shot you and you're out. So I'm actually curious if that's a feature that they will maintain even on the highest difficulty, or if they're still working out kinks and bugs within the game. I'm not sure. We didn't really get into any of the technical aspects, but at certain points it did feel like there were parts of the game that are still like being polished and worked on for sure. So that will be interesting to see when we finally actually get to play the DLC. So I did get the opportunity to possibly ask G1 a few more questions about the DLC and about the Lies of P universe. So if you guys have any specific questions about Lies of P for G1, please put them in the comments below, and I will pick some of the best ones and send them out. And once again, much love to Bomb Bomb Spring. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Oh, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not subbed already. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.